Dirk back again, and today, my friends, I want to talk to you about Lineage. When I've shown Lineage in the past, usually I've had one giant screenshot. The images are so small, it's really hard to read. So I wanted to actually do a little bit of a deep dive. Before I show you the Lineage from my application itself, I wanted to show you our project. So this is our Qlik Talend Cloud. We've got a data pipeline here where we're bringing the data out of SAP. We land the data. We do some transformations to it. We create financial data marts, inventory marts, and orders to cash marts. So just wanted to show you that's kind of the flow all the way from SAP. It lands in Snowflake. When I working in Qlik here, I'm using a common methodology. I do a raw extract, take the fields out of table one, take the fields out of table two, take the fields out of table three, etc., so that we have the raw data that's coming out of Snowflake. And that way I can do merges as well. So I can use the change data capture information that would be occurring throughout this workflow. And I can just merge. Here's my raw table one, merge it with the 5 records that changed in the last 5 minutes. Here's my raw data from table two, merge it with the 16 records that changed in the last 5 minutes. You get the picture. Then, of course, we go through and we do a little bit of transformation. So these aren't transformations that we should have done in our data marts. There were transformations done for the data marts. These are transformations like, geez, we've got these nice database field names, but I want a Qlik data model field name here so that as I try to reuse these QVDs across the board, they're fully qualified with table names. And I also do things like, geez, I want to take this customer table and I want to make it a billing customer table and a selling customer table and a ship to customer table. And I also do things like concatenate keys because we've got several many-to-many relationships and one-to-many relationships. So the transformations are done in those. These QVDs get written, and then this application goes and reads those QVDs. So now let's take a look at Lineage from the full cycle. So if I go to this application and I want to see the lineage of where its data comes from, I can see all of my data comes all the way back here. Yay, I can go all the way back. And because of these all the way backs, you can kind of tell why when I put a screenshot in there to show it all to you, it's very, very small. Well, what we can do, I'm going to come down through here. I'm going to just pick one. I'm going to say, hey, I want to look at these billing documents. If I look at these billing documents, I can look at something like here, this billing batch charge. And obviously I can see any of the fields that are in that table. And what I may want to do is say, hey, now what I want you to do is change this lineage diagram so that this is the focus. I just want this one field to be the focus because I'm not sure where this comes from. Because when I talked to the SAP guy yesterday, he says there's no such thing as a billing batch charge field. Well, I got to know where that comes from. Well, this field came out of this QVD here, and it was called billing batch charge there. I'm on a good track. It's billing batch charge. That file structure came from this application, this transform application. And if I look at this thing here, it is called billing batch charge here as well. So far, so good. Well, I look here at this file that it came out of, and it was just called batch charge there. Huh. So the raw thing coming out of Snowflake was just batch underscore underscore charge. And then I renamed it here in this transformation so that it might make a little bit more sense to me. Well, let's take a look. This batch charge field came out of this extract app. And if I click on this thing, then I can see it was batch charge there. It came raw as batch charge right out of my data mart. Let's see what it was in my data mart. It was batch charge in my data mart. Yay! And I look here at my transformation. It was batch charge in my transformation step. We're so far so good. And it was batch charge here in my storage. Let's take a look at my landing. And it was only charge. Ooh, that 5-character German shorthand stuff. And back in SAP, by the way, this charge field comes from this list 13 VD item table, even though way over here on this end, I'm pulling this out of billing documents, right? So I've converted the table name to make it more user-friendly for people, as well as the file. But here's where this becomes important. If I don't know where this came from, I can track this all the way back, not just through my Qlik Sense apps where I might do transformations and things like that. I'm tracking it all the way back. So if I do need to speak with an SAP person who's more familiar with this, I know what to talk to them about. And so that's where the lineage becomes important. Hope you have a great day.